Hi, I'm Eric Hollenbeck. I'm Director of Percussion Studies at Colorado State University. I'm talking about the snare drum etude for the 2025 Colorado All-State Band Auditions. This is Cerrone number 6, Anthony Cerrone's from Portraits and Rhythm number 6, and you're just required to play the first 12 bars. And these auditions are also for the CSU Honor Band and for the Northern Colorado Honor Band as well, which is really going to fall into December and February, All-State Band being later auditions. But for the snare drum, all three require of the same thing, which is basically the first 12 measures. So this one, there's a couple things. One is trying to get the tempo really stable. And 63 is a relatively slow tempo. So a couple things I think of. I'm a Pink Floyd fan, so I think a song by Money called Money. Ding, da, da, dum, dum, ding, dum, money. If you ever heard that one, that is 124. So if you take that, have that, that gives you 62. So 62 for me is best found through a little faster tempo, so I tend to have that. So it's one option to do that, but 62 means that the roll basses, like the very first half note roll, I tend to treat either as a 6 or a 7 bass. So in other words, as I'm rolling, I'm playing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So I play 7 at the beginning. And then I roll that. If that makes sense. Now, there's a couple places where I do a 6, like measure 4, beat 3. So it's kind of what you're doing. So when you play a 6, obviously it's a little slower than a 7, so I'm actually going to compress a little bit and play a few more notes per stroke within that 6-lit. So I get this. If I play it too open, it's a little grainy, so I like to actually compress a little bit. But at the beginning, I play a 7, so I can kind of go more towards 3 notes per stroke, like this. Just slightly faster on that. So a couple things, like at the end of the second line, you have these 5 kind of 5-stroke rolls that are multiple bounce, of course, but in those I play as your bass, so a 5-stroke bass that you're playing as a multiple bounce roll. So anyways, a couple things with this. There are no embellishments, no flams, no grace notes, no 4-stroke roughs. So what really is going to make you stand out is your roll quality, the evenness of your overall playing. In other words, here, the first 16th notes you have on beat 4 are really going to tell the adjudicator how even your hands operate and how they produce sound. You also have places like measure 10, where you got to play pianissimo. You just want to make sure, so many times in these videos we hear this, or this. You're just trying to make sure both hands are inputting the same dynamic. It's really, really crucially important. So roll quality is just as far as trying to smooth out your rolls, make sure we're not hearing the first note of each stroke more than the subsequent notes. So here, what we're trying to do is make sure that grouping of 3 notes or 4 notes is as equal as possible. We're not getting an accent followed by a decrescendo. So as much kind of weight you can put through into the notes past the first note. And that's going to equal this rather than this, if that makes sense. So smooth out your rolls, play with good time. I want to make sure that your hands are very even on 32nd notes, 16th note, 8th notes. Really, really important. The next thing that really comes into play is dynamics. And like most Cerrone etudes, these are really extreme and dynamic. In that you have pianissimo and piano. You also have forte, mezzo forte, and fortissimo. So between those 5 dynamics, you're trying to make sure that they're consistent through the piece and that they're wide enough, further enough from each other that they actually can be heard as different, if that makes sense. So like measure 10, that's your pianissimo, and what I do is I play it 1 inch from the rim. So I play it out here, rather than on piano, I come in about 2 inches. So here's piano, here's pianissimo. I don't have a mezzo piano, so I'm going to play piano a little bit softer, and that's just one more level of contrast between pianissimo and piano. You have a lot of fortes. When you get to fortissimo, Okay, and measure 9, that really needs to stick out. And this is a point where you don't want it to be necessarily pretty on the drum. In other words, you want to make a marcato sound, marcato meaning sharply accented. So something I do is I grip the stick pretty firmly with all my fingers, and I play dead center of the drum. So again, you want something that's really sharp, so this. So it's not a pretty sound. I'm not doing this. Hopefully you can hear the brightness and the change between those two, but you want to make that stick out a little bit different. And then immediately you get your extreme dynamic in the next measure, pianissimo. Something you want to do is just relax and really play that pianissimo. And then I would match all your rest of your pianissimos in measure 10 to what you play in the first two beats of measure 10. So like at the end of measure 3, that pianissimo note, that one at the end of the roll needs to be exactly the same as what you play at 10 as well. And also at the measure of 11 and through 12, you want to make sure all those are equal on that. Cool, I think really just be careful of your rhythm in a couple places. One is measure 5. Measure 9, sometimes people play the last couple 30-second note, eighth notes a little bit off. You just want to make sure your counting is correct on that one. Make sure you don't accent rolls unless they're accented. Like the very beginning, there is no accent on that roll, but the second measure downbeat has an accent, so you do want to make a difference. In measure 3, those rolls are not tied, so I tend to put a little space between them and do what we call dirty ending rolls. In other words, you have, so it ends with a buzz rather than having a single note ending on that. So just trying to make the dynamics consistent through, contrast the dynamics, good rolls, very even playing through 30-second notes and 16th notes, and the time is really stable. So anyways, yeah, good luck with this one, and have fun.